Hi, good afternoon, guys, and welcome to the class. This is Eric here with you guys today, and I hope you guys are really good and doing well. Now, for example, you know that we are into the special season of COVID-19, and that's all about coronavirus. I hope you are better and staying safe. Now, before we start a class today, it's going to be an intermediate class, and I'm going to teach you a lot different things. Today we're going to talk about prepositions, we're going to talk about articles, which will be coming in the second hour, and I'll be taking like nearly for 2 hours. For example, we're going to start right now and we're going to go up to 12:45. We're going to have 15 minutes break, and then late at 1 o'clock we're going to start a class again and finish it up by 1:45. So what I'm going to do, guys, is now a simple thing. Just sit back, relax, and try to understand what I'm going to talk about. We're going to learn together at the same time. What I'm going to do is also that make sure that while you're sitting in my class, you can grab a coffee, which will not make you sleep. And remember, you're along with Eric Barak. Now, there might be a question for you that why my name is Eric Barak. Yes, my name is Eric Barak because I am now personally somehow like a Turkish guy, so called Eric Barak. Now, before we start the class, guys, one demo thing for your safety features, and that is, for example, that make sure that you have your colonia. Now remember to wash your hands with your colonia, and going to the step 2, if you're going out somewhere or if you're going to the grocery, make sure that you use your mask. Now guys, this is very important. Remember, while you use your mask, it's going to help you and it's going to keep other people safe. And the last tip is that you should use your gloves. Now, guys, this is not actually a medical class. This is not actually an advertisement, but it's for you guys to be safe and secure. And guys, I will be getting your message very shortly. And thank you so much once again for coming and joining into the intermediate class today. I'll be taking it around till 2 o'clock. And remember, you're with Eric. And yes, today's topic is going to be great. We are going to start our topic with, guess what? I'm going to start today with prepositions. Now, I know that a lot of students in different classes always get a difficulty, and they always ask us in the classes, hey Eric, I'm not understanding what is preposition all about. Now remember, guys, today I'm going to explain in a very simple way. What you have to do is just focus on the board and look what I'm going to do. Alright, we're going to talk about only specific prepositions today, and you will understand them much better because we got a very limited time. And also remember, guys, I'm going to speak very slow today because I do understand that sometimes it's very difficult for you to understand my accent. So don't worry, I'm going to slow down today. Guys, remember, I'm going to check also your messages are flowing right now. I can see here there is Avuka Ali and Halil Uzan. Thank you so much for like signing into my class today. And guys, I'm sorry first of all, in case if I'm not able to pronounce your name properly. Just remember that because I'm not a Turkish guy, that's the reason I'm not able to pronounce your names properly. So just forgive me for that. Alright guys, now let's start the topic without getting more delays. Prepositions. Now, what is a preposition? Alright guys, preposition is actually a word which is connecting between two words or sentences. They build a relationship between. Like, let's take a simple example. Like the time, there's a bridge. There's a bridge here which connects one to another part, right? So that's between is a connection, and that's a bridge. Same way here in the grammar. Prepositions role is to connect two words together, or they can connect sentences together. Now that is called a preposition. And just remember, for a simple example, it says here, the book is kept on the table. Now when you say on the table, that means it's on the table. Now here, if you see, I've mentioned very clearly in the blue letters, it says there, for example, it's showing a relationship between the book and the table. All right guys, so there's a relationship between the book and table. So that's called a relationship, which is showing right now by using and preposition on. All right guys, now remember, we also have different type of prepositions, but I'm not going to teach you all of them today, but I'm going to explain you, quickly highlight you. We're going to have different prepositions, but we're going to touch only on one or two of them. We have, for example, 6 type of prepositions. Alright guys, did you go into ear? We got 6 type of prepositions. For example, prepositions of time, we got prepositions of place, we got prepositions of direction, and we got preposition of agent, and of course prepositions of instruments and preposition of phrases. Now we got 6 type of prepositions. Alright guys, just notice that. But we are going to start with a preposition of time. Now guys, before I start that, make sure that you have a paper next to you and a pencil or a pen, because there are a lot of things I'm going to explain you and you need to write them. There might be things which you might be not able to understand. Just text me up and your messages are already following right here on the screen, and thank you so much for joining. I can see here we got also some more students are coming in here. Thank you so much for that. And of course, before we start more into it, so we talked about preposition. What is preposition all about? We defined the preposition. Now let's start the prepositions. We're going to start today, and you can see on the board it talks about at, on, in. Now remember, these 3 type of prepositions are actually referring to the time only. Alright guys, for example, we got at, we got on here, and then we got in. So we got 3 type of prepositions which you're going to learn today, and we're going to talk about these 3 type of prepositions. Remember, my email address is ericbarak1429@gmail.com. You can send me your messages later for any type of queries you want to know or anything you're not able to understand. You can text me up on my email address, ericbarak1429@gmail.com. Now before I start into the preposition how to use at, let me check on my cursor on my screen. The messages are flowing. Let me see what the students want to tell me about. Now here I can see there are a lot of students signing in. Thank you so much guys. And I can see a huge number. I got here Dilan, then I got here Yasmin, and yeah, thank you so much for joining, and your messages are flowing here, and I will be checking your messages time to time. Now guys, let's scroll down and start with the time preposition at. Few examples. Ghosty leaves work at 7 p.m. Now when you say the word at there, a preposition, it actually talks about a particular time. It means that she always leaves her work at 7 p.m. So it's specifying a particular time when she is leaving her workplace. Now if you go to example number 2, it says here, I don't like going out at night. Now it's specified here the time that the person maybe loves to go out in the afternoons or in the morning, but the person is not interested to go out at night. So it's specifying out a time there. Number 3. Now, guys, this preposition which I'm going to talk right now is going to be a bit complicated, but not to worry. I'm going to explain it in a very proper way. In the next one, for example, number 3 says here, we gave each other presents at Bayram. Now guys, when you say we gave each other presents at Bayram, now remember Bayram is actually a festival, alright? And if you see on my notes here, it says on Bayram Day. Now remember guys, in the next preposition we're going to talk about on. Remember on signifies actually the date and days. So here when you say on Bayram Day, if it says Bayram Day or a Christmas Day or a Valentine Day, then you use a preposition on. But when you just say specified, for example, just Bayram or Christmas or New Year or Valentine, that's the time you will use a preposition at before. I hope it's very clear to you guys, right? I'm going to also ask you a lot of questions between, so don't worry. Guys, remember, in the next hour, I'm going to take you to the vegetable market. Vegetable market? Now you might be thinking, what is Eric talking about? Vegetable market? Take it easy guys, you're not going out of your house, but I'm going to take you to the vegetable market here on my screen, so not to worry for that. Number 4, let's continue. It says here, Fatih is busy at the moment. Or you can say at the present. Now remember, both are applicable. Now when I say both are applicable, it actually means that both are able to set into your sentence, but remember using your preposition at. Alright guys, now students, I want to ask you something here. Number 5, let's look into number 5. Elif left school at the age of 16. Can you tell me if it's right or wrong? Guys, I'm looking at your messages. Can you tell me if it's right or wrong? Hello, my darling students, where are you? Can you just tell me if, like number 5, Elif left school at age of 16? Now tell me, why did we use a preposition at there? I've just explained to you. So can you just tell me, guys, why did we use that? Oh, that's a Muharram. Okay, great. And we got here Hakim Gurhan. Thank you and love you guys. And thank you, my darling students. You're into the class. That's great. Now remember, guys, number 5. It says here, Elif left school at age of 16. So when you say age of 16, that actually means that's the time period she left of the school. That's why you use the preposition at. Guys, number 6 now. We got here, I'm leaving town at the beginning of September. Now, when you say at the beginning of September, it means that in the beginning is at the starting of the month. On the other hand, you can also use I'm leaving town at the end of September. Means before September ends, I'm going to leave the town. So both are specifying the time there. Alright guys, number 7 says here, I will see you at lunchtime. Now students, here we got a big problem. A lot of students always put on their on lunchtime. Guys, that's wrong. Because lunchtime is not going to go with preposition on here because it's not specifying the date, for example, in the day. So I will see you at lunchtime. Now that is actually going with the time you're going to see a person have a great lunch with him or her. All right. Does it make sense to you guys? And thank you. I'm going to see your messages slightly later. And remember that today, after we do all the prepositions, I'm going to give you like 20 sentences. We're going to work together and we're going to get the answers together. So stick with that. And I really got a present for you today. So if you give me a right answer, there's a candy or maybe something you're going to get out of my class today. So you're with Eric Barak Intermediate. Stay tuned with me. Definitely coming up next is number 8. We arrived at the same time. Now that means what? That the people, we. Now guys, remember when you say we, it means it's not one person. It means we people. We. Now we means there are many of them. So we arrived at the same time. So it means the people, all of them, they might be coming from different directions. They might be traveling from different places, but they came at the same point at the same time. So that's called we arrived at the same time. Now, guys, before I go into the next edition of preposition, we're going to start with the preposition on. Let me just quickly review your messages here, and let me check what you guys are doing here. Oops, sorry. We got here someone else. There are a lot of people coming here. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining here. And we got here Mao's call. And then we got here Yasamin. Good check. Hello. Hey, thank you very much for saying hi to me. And I'll say hi to you guys because you are my darling students. And you guys, you know what? I really miss you guys a lot. We never got a chance to meet for nearly 2 months. But don't worry, we are going to meet soon, very soon. So stick around and enjoy with me till 2 o'clock. Now, going up to you with a preposition on. Now, guys, look onto the board. It says here preposition on is always having a special role in the sentences. Now, on actually is specifying the dates and the days. Now, guys, remember dates and days. Alright guys, dates and days. Now that's specified with a preposition on. For example, let's quickly go down there and see here. Her birthday is on April 10th. So when you say on April 10th, that means what? The date is specified there. The birthday is on the 10th of April or April 10th. It's still the same. It doesn't matter. Number two, I go to the market on Sundays. Now, it's specifying out there that only on Sundays he or she goes to the market to do the grocery or to buy the stuff for the daily use. Now, that's specifying there your day. Now, that's why we use a preposition on Sundays because it's specifying a particular day, and that is Sunday. Number three, we will meet on Bayram Day. I hope you remember we just did a sentence in the preposition at. It was about Bayram, but here it says Bayram Day, and I explained it before. It says we will meet on Bayram Day. So when you say Bayram Day, it means what? A day which will be specifying Bayram. That's why we use the preposition on here. Now guys, number four, I want you to tell me why did we use preposition on here for sentence number four? What are you doing on the weekend? Guys, I need you to give me the answer now. Why did we use the preposition on and why not at for sentence number four? What are you doing on the weekend? Please give me the answer, guys. Yeah, your messages are flowing. Can I have your answer, please, guys? Just come on, guys, give me your answer. Why do we use this? Come on, guys, where are you? Hello? Hello, guys. Okay, now for example, number three says we will meet on Bayram Day. Now Bayram Day actually means it's specific on the day there. And then we got number four, it says, what are you doing on the weekend? Now when you say what are you doing on the weekend, it's actually trying to ask you what are you going to do on the specific weekend. Now when you say specific weekend, it means a day. And the category of on preposition is always talking to you about or is related with dates and days. Don't forget that. All right, guys. Number four. I'm sorry. Number five. She will visit us on Tuesday. Now, for example, it's specifying out here a particular day, and that is Tuesday. So, she will visit us on Tuesday. Now, guys, I hope you understood very carefully the preposition of on. We are always going to use for the category of the days and the dates. Now, that is all about a preposition on. I hope it's not misunderstanding you. I hope no more confusion is there. I hope you understood very carefully. And guys, remember, after doing the rest of the prepositions, we are going to have a small test today, and we're going to have 20 prepositions all in the line, and we're going to do it together, and you're going to give me the right answers. And guess what, guys? If you give me the right answers, you will get something out of the intermediate class today. And don't forget, in the second hour after the break, we are going to go to the vegetable market. Now, you may be surprised, what is vegetable market about? Don't worry, I'm going to take you there. Now, let's go to number what? The last and the third bit on in. Sorry, guys. In. Now let's say that a preposition in actually is working, has a special role here. For example, it's doing rule of three things at the same time. Like we got a month here, we got a year, and we got a season. So it works for a month, for a year, and for a season. Now we got 4 seasons or 5 or 3 seasons, right? We got winter, we got summer, we got spring, and we got autumn. Right, guys? Good. So let's start here. It says number 1 says here it gets dark early in winters. Now it's specifying, for example, a season there, right? So it's specifying a season, and that is winter season. And definitely we know, and you know, and I know that in winter it always gets dark very early. Number 2. we are in the 21st century. Now, for example, when you say 21st century, that's all about coming under the category of an year. So that's why we use their preposition in. And number three, it says he will return in a month. Now, when you say he will return in a month, that actually means what? The person will return back like in a month's time. So that is all about, it's a category of month. That's why we used a preposition in there. And guys, I want you to answer me number 4 now. He was born in 1997. Now, guys, tell me, why did we use a preposition in there? Hello, guys. Students, tell me, why did we use the preposition there? Okay, now let me tell you one thing. Why we use a preposition in there? Because it's specifying out the year. All right, guys. So he was born in 1997. So that is all about like specifying out the year was 1997, and a category of 1997 comes out under year, and year comes under a preposition in. So I hope you got it. I hope it went into your ears and it will not go out of the ears. Definitely, I think so, because it was a great thing that we talked about today when we started the class. We talked about prepositions with at, we talked about on, and now we have been heading into a conclusion of our preposition in today, right? So guys, text me your messages. We are flowing right now on the live broadcast. And also remember that during the week you can write me an email, because if you have any queries, you're welcome to write me, because I'm your teacher. But definitely, guys, you can just call me Eric Barak, and that sounds great to me. My email address you can see on the board. It says here Eric Barak 1429 at gmail.com. All right, guys, I'll repeat again for you. Eric Barak 1429 at gmail.com. Now, guys, there's something very special for you guys. So, need to understand here. Definitely, you got information about the prepositions at, on, and in. Now, that we talked about was that how we're going to implement those prepositions, in what circumstances and what sort of sentences. But now the time for you here is, look on the screen. This is going to be where a lot of people across the world, sometimes they do a lot of mistakes there. So I'm going to explain you which should help you to, like write down your sentences and to use your material here. For example, I put on the black highlighted prepositions at, on, and in. Now, guys, remember, these three prepositions you are not going to use, or they're not used before the words like, for example, last, next, tomorrow, and yesterday. So remember, the words, when you have the words like last, next, tomorrow, or yesterday, you will not use any of the prepositions before that. It's prepositions like at, on, in, are prohibited, means they are not accepted in the sentences if you got the words like last, next, tomorrow, and yesterday. For example, let's go into some of the examples here. I will see you next Friday. Now, when you say I will see you next Friday, yes, if the word next is not there, then you can say I will see you on Friday. But you can't say I will see you on next Friday. That's totally wrong. It's not acceptable. What I know a lot of time people do, right? I will see you on next Friday. It doesn't work. It has to be I will see you next Friday. All right, guys. So that's how it's going to be. Your messages are flowing here. They got married last March. Now that is going to be something which you need to also understand, that it says they got married last March. So when you say last March, you are not supposed to use any sort of preposition here like at, on, or in. All right, guys. Number 3, the film is releasing next month. Now, when you say next month, it means what? That you're already into a normal, like you're right now into, for example, now we are in the month of May, so that our next month is June. So definitely the movie is releasing next month. So that next month actually means what? The month which is going to come after the present month, and that is June. Some sentences, guys, also remember, have a special role. Now, this is something different again here. Some of the sentences are already they already take in all the 3 category of prepositions, what we just learned today. For example, they take at, they take in, and they take on together. But it depends upon what type of sentence it's going to be. For example, that's how you got a chance to bring in all your 3 prepositions together: at, in, and on. Let's have a quick look on today's first sentence, which is going to bring in all the 3 categories we have just learned a couple of minutes ago. Example, I will see you on Friday at 6 in the evening. Now it says here, I will see you on Friday. Now that's specifying your day, and we just learned about that. That on category is talking about the dates and days. So Friday is a category of a day. So it says on Friday, then we have at 6 and in the evening. All right, guys. So that is how we used all the 3 prepositions today in one sentence, and I will see you on Friday at 6 in the evening. I hope you understood, right? It's not difficult, and I hope, the guys, that you have really understood all the categories of the prepositions I've just explained to you, and we've been doing it together. A preposition of at, how to use at, for example, how to use on and in, and definitely if you've just signed in for my class, remember this is intermediate grip, and you're along with Eric Barak, and I will take you along till 2 o'clock today, and definitely shortly around 12:45 we're going to have our break for 50 minutes, so you can chill out, you can relax, you can grab a coffee, or you can have a light snack and come back to the class 1 o'clock so that we can start with our next topic. And the next topic is going to be today about the articles. We're going to learn about a, and da. And remember, I told you before, I'm going to take you, or we are going to be together into the vegetable market. Now, guys, don't get surprised that what is vegetable market. You will get a surprise. Don't get curious. You will come to know later in the next hour when I start the class after the break. Now, guys, let's go to the next session. Now, this is a session where I want to talk to you about the vocabulary bank. Now, when you talk about the vocabulary bank, now remember, our vocabulary is also very, very important for us to speak while we talk, while we communicate, tick, 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 while we communicate to people. Remember, we need to have a lot of vocabulary. Now, vocabulary is always based and is always depending upon the way you're going to connect your sentences. That's how you get your vocabulary into it. Vocabulary has a special role while the time you're speaking or the time you write. So remember, vocabulary, you just can't let it go. Vocabulary needs to be part of your speaking. Vocabulary needs to be the way you want to talk, the way you want to communicate with people. Vocabulary bank is very important for you, and remember to have a lot of knowledge with vocabulary. That will definitely help you to understand other side of the people, what they communicate, and the way you want to talk to someone, communicate over the telephone or face to face. You need to have a lot of good vocabulary bank. Without a vocabulary bank, guys, trust me, it will be not possible for you to like to speak out or to communicate in a better way to people. Now, in vocabulary bank today, we're going to learn about collocations, verbs, adjectives, and prepositions. We just did the prepositions, but we're going to still learn more prepositions coming later. But right now, we're touching on a screen on a topic of vocabulary, collocations, verbs, and adjectives. Now, question mark to all of you, and it comes to my brain too, a big question mark. What is collocations, verbs, / adjectives? And I'm here to explain you. So open your ears and try to understand me very carefully and look at the board. What does the word collocation means? Now that's the first question mark. Now that actually means It refers to a group of words that are often go together or that are likely to occur together. Alright guys, I'm going to repeat again. It refers to a group of words that often go together or that are likely to occur together. Two words that often go together, such as example, light sleeper, or you can say easy early riser. Now, for example, that's a category of collocations. Light sleeper, or you can say early riser. Now, early riser means what? A person who always wakes up early in the morning. It could be like 5 o'clock, 5:30, or 6 a.m. Now, that's called a person who is early riser. And when you say light sleeper, now light sleeper is actually it's a vocabulary word. Light sleeper actually means the person who is not sleeping constantly for hours and hours and hours. A person might be sleeping just for an hour, maybe for 30 minutes, or maybe for 20 or 30 minutes, or for 40 minutes. Now that's called actually a person who is a light sleeper. Now let's move into the next more examples. Here it says, let's see your single adjective, and that is deep here. And let's go into how it's going to be a combination. For example, deep pockets, we have deep sleep, we got there deep feeling, and of course we got deep trouble. Now we got these four categories and we got plenty more, but I'm going to explain you quickly about deep pockets. So when you say deep pockets, it actually means deep pockets means, or for example, your trousers or your pants, like they have the pockets, and the pockets are very deep where your whole, like, your fingers can go into that. That's called a deep pockets. And when you say deep sleep, now we just talked about a light sleeper, and here it says deep sleep. So deep sleep actually means when you are just sleeping and sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. Now that's called 8 hours sleep, 10 hours sleep, or 12 hours sleep. Now that is a deep sleep. All right, guys, and then you go to the deep feeling. Now deep feeling actually means sometimes we all have feelings, right? We have feelings. We have feelings. We got good feelings. We got bad feelings. Sometimes our feelings, brings us down. Sometimes the feelings are so hurting. Sometimes feelings are so good. Now that is all about deep feeling. Maybe if someone has hurt you in your life, now you can say, I really have a deep feeling right now. It could be a negative deep feeling, or it could be a positive deep feeling. Going to the last adjective, deep, is deep trouble. Now, when you say deep trouble, that actually means, for example, you did something wrong and definitely you're going to be in trouble. So that's how you use that collocations adjectives with deep trouble. Now, let's go to the next category, guys, here. And the word we got here is heavy. Guys, I'm going to check your messages, don't worry, and we're going to do together. Prepositions quiz will be coming very shortly where you're going to give me the answers and we're going to work together. So stick around because this is something which I'm going to explain you more. So listen to me very carefully. So stay tuned and you're joining in the class. Your messages are flowing. Thank you so much. I love you guys. You're my darling students. Now let's go to the adjective heavy here. Heavy snow. So when you say heavy snow, it means what? A snow which was not expected, but it came more than expectation. That's called heavy snow. So when you say heavy sleeper, again, it's something, a person who sleeps a lot, and a lot is called a heavy sleeper. On the other hand, when you say heavy rain, now guys, remember there's a difference between a rain and a drizzle. A lot of students, when they communicate, they always get mixed up. For example, when you have a droplets, when you have the droplets falling, now that's called a drizzle. Now that's not a rain. Rain is actually when it's very heavy. Now that's called a heavy rain. Or when you see just a droplets falling like on the ground, now that's called a drizzle. So guys, I hope it's very clear to you. Vocabulary bank word, drizzle and rain is totally different words. All right, guys. Going to the next one. When you say heavy traffic, now heavy traffic is a category where you find there's a lot of traffic, a lot of queues of the trucks, buses, cars, means a different type of transport is in the queue. It's not moving. or it's moving very slowly. That's called heavy traffic. It's also related with heavy jam, for example. Okay, that's how it can be used. And the last word for today is single adjective for using with the word strong. How you can use that? It could be a strong smell. Now, strong smell, guys, will be of two categories. It could be a negative smell, or it could be a positive smell. Remember that negative smell or a positive smell, where you can smell something good or where you can smell something bad, is all about positive and negative. So strong smell, it could be negative, it could be positive. All right, now strong sense. Let's go to strong sense. Now, strong sense actually means what? That someone who is able to understand or even can figure out before something is going to happen. Like an example, like if you want to go for a drive and something goes wrong, you might just feel before even going out of your house, hey, something might happen to me. Now that is actually called a strong sense of understanding something which is going to happen. It's called a strong sense. And the last one is a strong feeling, where we talk about that yes, we might have a feeling where people are not able to understand me, or people were not able to understand me what I was talking about, or it could be in a positive way that I think everyone understood me very well. Now that's the difference between a negative and a positive, and they both categories, remember, they come under an umbrella of strong feelings. Now guys, I hope that's very clear to you. Now going into the last bit before we go into the quiz of prepositions, where you all are going to participate with me. I'm going to talk about different prepositions, sentences, and you will give me the answers by using a preposition at, in, or on. I hope the deal is done. So we're going to do that very shortly, or maybe after the break. We were going to start with the prepositions, 20 sentences together, and you will participate. You will give me the answers, and that's how we're going to flow the class till 1:45. That'll be the time when I'm going to say goodbye to you from the class. Now, coming down quickly onto the part of dependent prepositions. Now, I know sometimes people are not able to understand what is a dependent preposition. Guys, your messages are flowing here. Thank you so much for sending me your messages. And guys, I'm so happy to also see you guys are really very much into the class. Thank you so much. And guys, just remember that if you have any questions, don't forget to text me on my email address, ericbarak1429@gmail.com. Now going back to the lesson, dependent prepositions. Now what is a dependent prepositions? Now dependent prepositions are actually the words and prepositions. A dependent preposition is a preposition that always follow the same expression. For example, we say interested in, and we don't say something else. We say interested in. Now that is actually depending preposition. For example, with the word for, apologize for. Now when you say apologize for, now the preposition is depending on automatically apologizing to someone. Maybe you did something wrong, or maybe you came late to class, maybe you've gone late to your office, and you just say, he apologized for being late. I'm sorry I got late. I'm being late. Now that is how a depending preposition is taking place. There is talking about something, what has happened. It's all depending preposition. You can also apologize to someone. Now that is, again, you're using a preposition to there, and apply for. Now, when you say apply for, now that's actually depending again by using a preposition for. I applied for the job, but I didn't get it. Now, when you say I applied for a job, it means you're going to do something and you're not able to get successful. That's called I applied for the job, but I didn't get it. Now we got there. The next sentence, ask for. Again, we are using a preposition depending is for. How do you ask for a coffee in French? Now, I really don't know how to ask that because I'm not a French person, but definitely what I know is in English we can ask, for example, can I have a black coffee, or can I have a cafe latte, or something else? So we have different categories. Now, pay for. Now, when you say a preposition pay for into the depending preposition, now that actually means, for example, something consumed Consume means you drank something or you ate something out there, something you shouldn't have done. And then also you can example say, who's paying for the beers? Now I know you guys will laugh here because I talked about beers, and I know that people love beers, people love alcohol, people love to drink a beer to chill, which is not a problem. So remember, so doing something out here, it means pay for it. In case you have taken some beers or you have like eaten a snack, so you consume something. So you can just tell in a way on using a depending preposition pay for. Alright guys, now we are going to have a quiz coming up very shortly. Just remember that I'm going to recap quickly for you guys because we're going to have a break coming very shortly. You're along with Eric in the intermediate class, remember that? And we'll be taking you out, I'll be sticking out with you till 1:45 today after the break. Just remember, don't go away somewhere, don't start sleeping, don't start snoring. Remember that between the 15 minutes break, you need to get yourself a coffee, get yourself a light snack so that you get energetic and listen to the next topic coming up in the next hour. After the break, we are going to enjoy articles with a, and the. Just remember guys that we have a lot of articles. Topic is huge topic, but we're going to talk specifying out on the daily needs. So it's going to be articles on a and the. And remember that I'm going to give you some demonstrations too, and also we're going to go into the vegetable market. I know that's a question mark, that what is Eric talking about it at vegetable market? Guys, a vegetable market thing I'm going to explain you in the next hour coming after a short commercial break. So stay tuned, and yes, thank you once again for joining for this session. We talked about prepositions at, on, and in. And guys, the time is running up right now for a break. So you guys need to go for a break. Get ready for, don't forget to keep yourself safe, guys. 15 minutes of break does not mean that you don't keep yourself safe. You need to keep yourself safe. Wash your hands quickly, guys. Recap: wash your hands, put your clothes, make sure that you have your mask and you also have your gloves. Until then, I say to you goodbye for now. Take care of yourself. I will catch you after a break, so stay tuned right here.
Olduğun yerden hemen kalkman gerek. Adım at ki gerçekleşsin her dilek. Bekliyor seni parlak bir gelecek. Sen ona gittikçe o sana gelecek. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel.
A world with a joy and smile, a world where everyone will live by satisfaction and learn to survive in the outside world. Justenglish style. Learn, play, sing and dance. Do what you don't see anywhere else. Learn, play, sing and dance. Do but do Justenglish style.
Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, macerayla tanış. Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, bu dünyaya karış. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel.
Knife.
Knife. Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Pronunciation.
Enthusiastic.
Enthusiasm. Enthusiastic.
Reci bilmiyorum.
Recipe.
Recipe. Recipe.
Bir daha.
Recipe.
Clark.
Clark.
Pronunciation.
Şimdi sen de dile gel. olduğun yerden hemen kalkman gerek. Adım at ki gerçekleşsin her dilek. Bekliyor seni parlak bir gelecek. Sen ona gittikçe o sana gelecek. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglishle şimdi sen de dile gel.
A world with a joy and smile, a world where everyone won't lead by satisfaction and learn to survive in the outside world. Justinglish style. Learn, play, sing and dance. Do what you don't see anywhere else. Learn, play, sing and dance. Do but do Justinglish style.
Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, macerayla tanış. Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, bu dünyaya karış. Justinglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justinglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel.
Knife.
Knife.
Enthusiastic. Enthusiastic.
Pronunciation.
Enthusiastic.
And enthusiasm. Etustik.
Reci bilmiyorum.
Recipe.
Recipe. Recipe.
Bir daha.
Recipe.
Clark.
Clark.
Clark. Pronunciation.
Justinglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel.
guys, welcome back to the class, and I hope you guys had a great time, definitely had a great break. I hope you had your coffee, and of course you also had your light snack and are refreshed to start the class now. Guys, remember, we are going to do a quiz. For example, I told you we're going to do it before. I told you before we're going for a break. I told you we're going to do a quiz after the break. So let's get ready. And while you are getting ready, I'm just going to give you 1 second. Get ready. And I'm going to check on the screen your messages too at the same time. So guys, your messages are flowing right now here. And let me see what's happening with the messages here, guys. Thank you so much for joining. And I can see their messages coming up from different students. Thank you so much for that. And guys, the first questions are going to be from the test of prepositions. We're going to talk about at, in, and definitely on. Guys, your messages are flowing. Please flow your messages right here. And it says here, shall we go to cinema Sunday? Now, our first for example, sentence in the quiz is, shall we go to cinema Sunday? Now here the preposition is going to be, for example, on Sunday. Then we got here, he graduated from Oxford 1985. Now guys, let me know which one do you think the answer is going to be here. He graduated from Oxford in 1985. Guys, your messages are flowing. Let me know which one do you think. I'm waiting for you guys to tell me. He graduated from Oxford 1985. Okay guys, I think it's pretty slow here. So I think your answer is in there in 1985. Then you go to number 3. It says, I must get up early the morning. Now when you say I must get up early the morning, now that actually means in the morning. You use a preposition in there. Number 4, it says a shop open 9. Now when you say the shop open 9, it actually means what? That the shop will open at 9. All right, guys. Number 5 is she has never seen the sea-winter. Now, when you say the sea-winter, it means in winter because it's talking about the season. Remember. Number 6, I'm going to meet her Wednesday. When you say I'm going to meet her Wednesday, now number 6 is on. And whereas number 7 is let's have a break noon. Now when you say let's have a break noon, it means in the afternoons. So it's going to be, for example, your preposition at will be coming there, not in or not on. Just remember that. Number 10, we are going to go directly to is the match Saturday afternoon. So when you say it's a match Saturday afternoon, it actually means that it's going to be on Saturday afternoon. Now guys, the rest of the prepositions we're going to do very shortly, and I'm going to switch off to the next topic. And the next topic for today's class is intermediate class, as you're into intermediate class with me here. Remember that we are into the spice and vegetable market at the same time, and the time is like 3 minutes past 1 p.m. and I'll be taking you till 1:45. And our next topic is articles. Now guys, look on the board. It says here articles. Now remember, we always have 3 type of articles, which I think you guys know that very well. We got an article called an, a, and the. I'll repeat again. It's here on the board. It shows the articles are an, a, and the. Now the big question mark comes that what is an article? Now that's something where sometimes people are not able to understand what is an article. Now what is an article? Articles are 3 important words like an, a, and the, which are used for nouns. Remember that. They're used for nouns. A, are, and the are actually the words which are used for nouns. from where we have an and a as indefinite article, and remember your da is always a definite article. Now the next step to go into is we learned about articles. We got three type of articles. Remember, we got a, we got an, and we got the. And the second part comes into that how to use them into your sentences. Now this is something very interesting which people are sometimes really mixing. They don't understand that whether you're going to use the article a and the or not to use an article. That's a little bit complicated sometimes for students. So today I'm going to explain you how we're going to do that. We're going to do it in a very simple way. So please understand, keep a paper with you and a pencil so that you can write down some of the points or highlight the points which I'm going to tell you. Alright guys, let's start with our article and. Now guys, before I go into and, please tell me, do you remember your vowels? Because vowels are related with article and. Remember, if you don't remember your vowels, I'm here to explain you. Vowels are actually for the alphabets which are used for article and. Now vowels are your A, your E, your I, your O, and your U. Remember, the vowels alphabets are A, E, I, O, and U. And on the other hand, I hope you remember our alphabets in English are from A to Z. So remember, when you exclude your vowels A, E, I, O, and U from the rest of the alphabets, now those rest alphabets also got a name and they are called actually consonants. Alright guys, now they are called consonants which are not vowel alphabets, and the vowel alphabets we got are A, E, I, O, and U. Now guys, I'm going to give you some demonstration here. I want you guys to understand and let me know whether these are vowels or for example, if they are consonants. Alright guys, so let's start with our first demonstration. Here we go. Guys, what are that? There you go guys, we got tomatoes here. Now the word tomatoes, remember, tomatoes we start with alphabet T. Now word alphabet T does not, for example, you can't identify the alphabet T in vowels. So the sound is consonant, right? And the category of the alphabet T is going under consonant. So it means what? The word alphabet T and the word tomato is under consonant. It's not a vowel. Now let's go to our second demonstration. We got here, you know it, right guys? We got here lemon. Now guys, lemon, it starts with an alphabet L. 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 Now L actually tell me whether it's a vowel or it's a consonant. There we go. Now the alphabet L is actually not a vowel. It's in the category of a consonant. So the word lemon, L-E-M-O-N, is coming under the category of consonant. It's not a vowel. Let's go to our number 3 demonstration, vegetable. There we go. Come on guys, don't laugh. This is what I was talking about. Our vegetable class, our vegetable market is a demonstration. Now here we got is your onion. Now guys, remember, onion. Is it? Be careful and tell me. Onion, it stands with the alphabet O. Now O is a vowel. Do you remember we just learned before? Our vowels which go with N are A, E, I, O, and U. So the spelling of onion stands with O. So this comes into the category of a vowel. The word onion goes under a vowel. It's not under a category of consonant. Alright guys? Good. Now let's go to the next one here. We got a potato. Now in Turkish we say patates, but in English we say potato. Now potato actually it's a consonant or is it, for example, a vowel? Now it starts with the alphabet P. So remember, the word P is not a part of the vowels family. The alphabet P is going in a family of consonants. It's not under the family of vowels. So P goes in consonants, so the word potato does not come under the vowels, and also it can be used after an. There we go. And we got a last demonstration, and I know you're going to laugh right now. We got here your chilies, guys. Come on, we got the chilies here, which are good for you guys, not chilies. Now remember, are these actually a consonant or a vowel? If you go into your vowels category, we got A, E, I, O, and U. And here the word of chili, when you say chili, chili starts with the alphabet C. So C actually means it's under consonant. Now that is a category of consonant. It's not a category of vowels. Your messages are flowing here, guys. Thank you so much for that. And I'm going to answer your messages very shortly. Now let's go into the quick examples of and how to use an and with what type of words. For example, our first vowel is A, and alphabet A means apple. So we can say an apple, and then E is an elephant. Also, we can see there, we say an ice cream. We can say an orange, an onion, or we can say an umbrella. Whereas, remember, an is always used for nouns. Example, if you see here, my cursor is moving now. I bought an umbrella, or do you say I bought an umbrella? Guys, be careful. I've just told you now we got vowels, and the vowels are used for specific words which start with the vowels. And here I've given you an example. I bought an umbrella. You say in English, or do you say I bought an umbrella? There we go. You say here, I bought an umbrella. Now use article and. The reason is what? The reason is because the word is starting with alphabet U, and that is a vowel. So to use for the vowel, you need to have and before the word umbrella. So this category is not there. I'm going to say goodbye to I bought an umbrella. There we go. So your answer is I bought an umbrella. Let's remember, guys, sometimes we do have a certain exceptions on the vowels. I know you might be getting confused, worried, but don't get worried. I'm going to explain in a proper way why we have some exceptions on the words. For example, there's a word called honest. Now, when you see the word called honest, you can look there onto the board. It says honest. Now, when you say honest, actually, your sound vocal coming out is honest. Oh, the sound of O is coming out, and the sound of H is silent. That's why it goes under the category of a vowel O, honest. Same way we got a next word there, which has a sound of hour. So when you say hour, the sound is all there. That's why automatically goes under the vowels, and it says an hour. You don't say a hour. You say we will be back in an hour. So when you say in an hour, remember the word hour, O, the sound starts with, whereas the sound of H is silent in hour and honest. That's why those words are exceptional to go in the category of your vowels. So it could be vowels or vowel sounds. Now we got a vowel and we got the vowel sounds in honest and in the category of honor. Example, look on this side, guys. I will be back in an hour. Now definitely you say in an hour, or we say I will be back in an hour. Your message is coming, yes? Alright, there we go. So you say here, I will be back in an hour. Because the word hour, your H is silent there. It's not a sound of H. H is there in the spelling, but the sound of H is silent. So it says there, I will be back in an hour. So automatically your sentence number 2, which is followed by, will be going off now because it's not a proper English. There we go. Now, let's go to the last part there. It says here, and is also an indefinite article. Now, a and an are always introducing, or you can say they introduce a noun phrase and implies that the thing refers to is non-specific. As in, she bought me a book. Now, she bought me a book, but it's not specified, for example, which type of book. A garment is an art. Now, which garment? No one knows. There's no specification there. When you say you went to a public school. Now, when you say you went to a public school, actually, it's talking about a school that the person went to a school. Now, that we talked about was an article in. And now, guys, before we switch into an article A, just remember you're along with Eric, and we are into the intermediate class, the second session today. And we will be doing a class till 1:45, so stick around, get more information, and remember that we have been learning today. In the first hour, we talked about the prepositions. So in this hour, we are talking about articles right now, and we just finished an article, and that what is an about and how do we use an in the sentences. And now get ready, we're going to start learning about an article A and what does A do in the sentence. Now, how is it applied in the sentences? Now, for example, the first step to understand and remember is A is always talking about in general. Remember, it always talks about in general. Guys, your messages are coming here. It always talks in general. All right, guys? So when it talks about general, it means what? That the things are there which we talk about are all in general. All right, guys? Things you talk are all in general. Okay? Now, for example, when you say a book, it actually means that there is a book which you are talking about, that there is a book. All right, guys? That there is a book in general. There is a book in general, there is a ship in general, and there's a sandwich. Now, when you say a book, a ship, a sandwich, now that is actually where it's talking about general. A is used actually for a singular noun always. Just remember that. Keep it into your brains. It needs to go into your brains now that A is used for singular nouns always. Number 2. Consonant alphabets which are not vowels. For example, it also should be in general, and the words should be consonant alphabets which are not under a category of vowels. That's how it's a book and a ship. And then number 3, the category is talking something for the first time. Now, guys, remember here a lot of people really make a mistake. They don't understand, or they really get mixed up. Sometimes they start saying the book, a book, and all that. Remember, A is also used when you talk about something for the very first time. And we are going to learn in article, definite article T, about when you talk about something for the second time, that is in using an article T. But let's stick to an article A. We're talking about A right now. So it says here that talking something for the first time. Example, I saw a beautiful tree. Now, when you say I saw a beautiful tree, that actually means what? That there was a tree which you saw, and you saw the tree for the first time. All right, guys, that's why we used an article, I saw a beautiful tree. Number 2, it says here, this is a brilliant book. Now, when you say this is a brilliant book, now that talks about here is actually that you saw a book for the very first time and the book was brilliant. So that's why you used an article A there, but not an. It's A. This is a brilliant book. All right. For example, now there are students. Now I want you to take a part here and you will let me know if you're going to use an article A or an. I read dash book yesterday. I really want you to give me an answer now which article we are going to use here, A or an. And let me check your messages which are coming here. Let me see your messages till meantime. I need your answers, guys. I read dash book yesterday. So please tell me what's the answer there. Which preposition should we use there, guys? Tell me which preposition should we use there. All right, so you see here, I read a book yesterday. Good. Number 2, I ate a curry for lunch. Now, ate, remember, is in the past. And the first form is eat. Number 3, I have a dog. Then your number 4 is I do not have dash cat. I do not have an cat or a cat. There you go. I do not have a cat. Great. Number 5. They are making dash a lot of noise out there. The answer is, guys, what? Hello? They are making a lot of noise out there. That's your right answer. Number 6. Dash cricket match is being played. A cricket match is being played. Number 7. I need dash holiday. Now, when you say I need dash holiday, definitely, guys, we are already sort of having a holiday. So you don't need more holidays. But if you go into the sentence, you say here, I need a holiday. You don't say here, I need an holiday. That's a wrong English. I need a holiday. And when it says your number 8, dash new prime minister was appointed today. Now, it means what? There was someone who got a job responsibility, and that was a prime minister. So he was appointed, or she was appointed today. So you say here, a new prime minister was appointed today. Guys, my email address is ericbarak1429@gmail.com, and you're into the intermediate class, second hour today, and we are learning about articles, a, and there. We just finished out with an article and we have almost finished with a, and now we are going to start with the article da. Now the article da is, for example, remember, it's a definite article which is always used into the grammar sentences. So here we are going to do it together. Now first of all, it comes to da. Remember, da and actually a has similar specifications, but it's not exactly the same. So just remember that. Da. We are talking about something in specific. Now remember, with a, we were talking about in general. In da, we talk about things or something in specific. Just remember that. Number 2, talking about something for the second time. And if you compare with article A, we talk about something for the first time. And in this article da, we talk about something like repeating or example for the second time. All right, guys, let's go into the example right away and see here. It says, the girl looks beautiful. Now, when you say the girl looks beautiful, it's specifying out which type of girl. Now, there we go, your number 2. It says here, I ate dash pear. Now, guys, pear, if you really don't know, I'm sorry for that. Pear is actually a fruit. When you say pear, that's P-E-E-R. Now, that is, for example, when you peel your ear or your eyebrows. But this is pear, P-E-A-R, and pear is actually one of the fruits, so that's called pear. I ate pear. I mentioned for you guys, it's a fruit actually. Sorry, it says here, I ate a pear, and then you say the pear was sweet. Now, in the second sentence, why did we use the article da there? The reason is because we are trying to talk about the pear for the second time. That's why we use an article da there, but not a. A is actually in the first because we're talking for the first time. I ate a pear. In the second, we use article da there because we are talking about a pear, but for the second time. That's why we use that article da there. Now, what is the pear vowel? Is it a consonant or is it a vowel? Guys, tell me. The word pear, does it come on the category of vowels or does it come in the category of consonant words? Okay, good. There we go. The word pair, guys, comes under the category of consonant. It's not coming under the category of vowels. Just remember. And guys, you can send me a message directly on the broadcast. Please try avoiding sending me messages on the WhatsApp. But thank you so much for sending me still the messages. I love you guys a lot. And yes, we are still continuing the study. It's not finished yet. Now, guys, I got a story here with you, which is going to connect something related with da and with are. Remember, are is actually for the first time talking things, and da is something which you talk about for the second time. So, story. I saw a person yesterday. The person was sitting under a tree. The tree was very tall. The person stood up when they saw a cat. The cat jumped on a wall to try and catch a bird, but the bird flew off the wall. So guys, you can see that story there. I saw a person yesterday. The person was sitting under a tree. The tree was very tall. The person stood up when they saw a cat. The cat jumped on a wall to try and catch a bird, but the bird flew off the wall. Now guys, you can see there on the board, it says the nouns, for example, of the persons. We talk about the person there, tree, wall, cat, and bird. And these are indefinite articles, whereas when you're talking for the first time, I just repeated, that's the time you use your article a there. And for the second time, you have to use an article t to make it as a definite article. Now guys, remember, as we've been doing the recaps, remember that as we are also doing, you're still in the category of an article t, we're still learning more about it. Now remember that while we use the word t in sentences, and there might be some sentences which might be a bit complicated, they might be different in a group, so you need to you need to make sure that they go into the proper group, and the proper grouping is done to use a proper article, a, and, or the. There we look for some examples. It says here, remember, when a noun is unique, use a definite article. Now, when you say the noun is unique, it means it has its own view, it has its own charm, it has its own personality, it has its own everything. Now, that's something different than something else. It's not similar like how it should be. So it's slightly different, it's totally different. That's how you say the word unique. Now, the word unique is always in the category going out with an article definite, which is the there. So you say here an example, the sun. So when you say the sun, it means what? It's a unique thing. That's why I use a definite article, the there, and it says the president. Now, for example, when you say the president, it actually means what? That this president is quite unique. He or she is not the same like others, or he or she is only the one who got the title. So we use a definite article there, which is in the category of the. So it says the president. Number 3, the Queen of England. So when you say the Queen of England, now that actually also means that there's a queen there, and we use a definite article, and your article is the. So we say there, the Queen of England. I hope it's going into your ears and it's not going out there. I love you. The capital city. Now, when you say the capital city, so it means what? That the capital city is there. So that's why we use a definite article again there in the category of under the. Use definite articles for named things. So remember, we also use them for the named things. For example, the Himalayas. Now, I don't know if you know or not. Let me give you a slight vocabulary here. When you say the Himalayas, now remember, Himalayas are actually not a name of the person, it's a mountain. So the Himalayas. And also we have number 2 is the Pacific Ocean. So when you say the Pacific Ocean, now it's talking about a unique ocean. So that's why we use an article, a definite article there, to say the Pacific Ocean. The Eiffel Tower, the Galata Tower, and we say the Amazon River. Now that's all because they are very unique and they have their own way of explaining themselves with using a definite article, which is as the there. Now guys, we talked about today about articles. We talked about the article with for example, we talked about different articles. We talked about and, we talked about are, and then we talked about the article the. And now guys, before I go into another article of title, which is very much called as no article. Now, no article actually means what? Let's have a look into that. Thank you so much for your messages, guys. It says here, do not use an article with countries, states, counties, or provinces, lakes, and mountains, except when the countries is a collection of states, such as the United States. Now guys, a lot of time people have been asking me this question, that why, Eric, we say the United States. Now guys, you got your answer here, that we only use an article with countries, states, counties, or provinces, whereas lakes and mountains, except when the country is a collection of states. That's how we say to the US, we say the United States. I hope you got the difference too, right? And if there was any misunderstanding or confusion, I hope that confusion is gone right now while I've explained to you how it is to be written there as the United States. Now, let's go into some example. It says here, he lives in Washington near Mount Rainier. Now, guys, see there, we're not used anything else. It's just a very simple, and the article is not there. It says he lives in Washington near Mount Rainier. And remember, when we are talking about countries, for example, states, counties, or province, lakes, and mountains, we do not use, for example, any sort of article. That's why here Washington is, for example, a state, and it says here he lives in a state. For example, he lives in Washington near Mount Rainier. Number 2, they live in northern British Columbia. Now, when you say they live in northern British Columbia, now you don't have to use an article and or the here, because it comes in the category of a county. Number 3, they climbed Mount Everest. Now guys, if you don't know where Mount Everest, I want you guys to go into your map and have a look and find out where is Mount Everest. Now Mount Everest is coming in the category under mountains, so that's why we don't have to use any articles like and the there. We do not normally use an article which with plurals and uncountable nouns to talk about things in general. Now guys, I hope you know that part. Plurals are actually more than one. For example, singular is one and plural is more than one. So we do not normally use an article with plurals and uncountable nouns to talk about things in general. I hope it's very clear. Let's have a quick look to some of the examples here. He writes books. She likes sweets. Do you like jazz music? Now that's a question mark. And then it says here number 4, she ate bread with butter in the morning. I'm going to recap. He writes books. Guys, we don't need to use any article there because it's very simple. He writes books. Number 2, no article again. She likes sweets. Plural. Do you like jazz music? Now that's number 3. And number 4, she ate bread with butter in the morning. Alright guys, now another example we got there is I love flowers. Now when you say I love flowers, now you can see in the sentence very clearly we don't have any article there. It just says I love flowers. So when you say I love flowers, now that means what? They're specific, not specific flowers. Actually, they're general flowers which you like. I like flowers. So these are general flowers. They're not specifying out which type of flowers. So it's I love flowers. No articles are used there. So it's a general. Now, if you go to the next sentence, the next example, it talks about here, I love flowers in my garden. Now, it's specifying here flowers which are in my garden, but not the flowers which are on the shop, not the flowers which are on the counter, not the flowers which are green in color, not the flowers which are red in color, or not the flowers which are yellow in color. It's specifying out the flowers in the garden. So that's why we use an article there. It says here, I love flowers in my garden. So that's how it's talking about the specific flowers right there, and we are not using any article there. I love flowers in my garden. Guys, we're not using any specific article there. It's just specifying out the flowers. Now let's go and have a look to more examples where we are not using any type of articles. And guys, we are doing articles right now. Articles A, and there. We just did a couple of minutes back, and this is the second hour of today's individual class with Eric Barak. And my email address is ericbarak1429@gmail.com. During the week, you can send me a message if you want to have any information about any query. You can drop me an email and I will reply you back. And thank you very much for joining the class today, and I hope you're having a great fun. And yes, still stick down, don't move out, because the class is not yet finished and you still need to learn more. So going back into more examples of articles where we don't use an articles like a, and there. Number one, cars can be dangerous. Now it says here cars can be dangerous. Now it has already given us the meaning there. Cars can be dangerous. Which ones? No, don't know. It's just cars can be dangerous. Number two, we seldom see courage like that. So when you say we seldom see courage like that, it means what is in general. It's not specifying anything there. That's why we are not using any articles. For example, a, and, or there. No article is used in that particular sentence. Number three, there was milk on the doorstep. And when you say there was milk on the doorstep, it means what? That there was a milk there. Number four, she arrived in Bangkok yesterday. And number five you got there is he's a good at tennis. Now guys, if you go through with some sentences, remember that sometimes they might be tricky for you. You might be not able to understand that, you might think, oh, this is so tricky. Oh, I think we should use a here article or an or the. But remember, that is not all about. You should be careful how to use an article. Always remember that if you know your conditions, how to use an article, that's a good way to do that, guys. Just remember, it's not difficult. It's very easy. Just understand and memorize the steps of how to use these articles a, an, or the. For example, I'm going to do a really quick recap for you guys. Here we go. Let's start with our article in. And the vowels we got for articles are A, E, I, O, U. So using an article in front of the word, remember beginning with the vowels. Okay, for example, we got the vowel O there. You got your onion. The word onion is a vowel. Then we got here, for example, we also have consonant alphabets which are not in the category of vowels. We got here lemon. Now lemon starts with L. It's not under category of consonant. It's a category of consonant, sorry. It's not a vowel. So it goes under a consonant group. Alright guys, and we got here your potato is here. It's starting off with the alphabet P, which is not in the category of vowels. It goes under consonant. And you got here a huge tomatoes. Now tomatoes, guys, for example, the starting alphabet is T, remember, so it's under consonant. It's not under category of vowels, so you cannot use a word in before the word tomato. Alright guys, and the last one we got here are your favorite, my favorite for lunch and dinner, and those are our chilies. Now guys, remember this word chili starts with C, and they also come under the category of consonant but not under the category of vowels because it's not a part of vowels because it starts with C and we don't have C in the vowels. That's how we differentiate them if they have to be used before and or not. Good. An apple, an elephant, an ice cream, an orange we got there. Then we got an umbrella. I bought an umbrella because you're using and there. The reason is because the word is starting with a vowel and that is your U there, whereas we have some exceptions as we talked about before, that the exceptions are for some words like honest and hour. Remember the word honest and hour, your H is silent but it's still going on, right? Your word is silent there, your sound is silent, but you have the word honest and you have the word hour where the sound of O comes out. That's the reason it goes in the category of vowels and it can be used before your article in there. And then you have vowels and you also have the vowel sounds where we say I will be back in an hour. You don't say I will be back in an hour, you say I will be back in an hour because your word hour has a vowel sound. It's, for example, O is a sound when you say hour and the sound of H is silent. Alright guys, an indefinite article. A and an are introduced, for example, as we told, recapping now, phrases with implies that things refer to non-specific. For example, she bought me a book, a garment is an art, he went to a public school. Now guys, that we took today, we learned about a quick recap. In the first time we talked about today was prepositions, and we did prepositions, for example, at, in, and on the other hand we had a break, and after the break we did some demonstrations of the vegetable market, and also we are into the second hour which is going to go off right shortly. We were studying about articles today, a and the, and I hope you enjoyed the class today, and very much I understand that you answered very carefully. Everything was going into your ears, it never came out of your ears. Remember, if you don't know my name, for example, my name is Eric Barak and you can just call me Eric Barak. You don't have to call me teacher, please, because I really don't like to be called teacher. Yes, I am a teacher, but I don't like to be called teacher. Just call me Eric by name, or you can call me Barak. It doesn't matter. All right, you have freedom. You can call me Eric or Barak. Thank you so much for your great messages you sent me today while we were flowing up on the live broadcast. And guys, before I sign out, don't forget you have a homework. My email address is ericbarak1429@gmail.com, and remember to send me your homework during the course of the week. I will check your answers and your homework will be based on that. Remember, go into our English files book of intermediate class, go onto your page, for example 136 and 137. I'm going to repeat again. Intermediate book English file, go to your page number 136, 136, and page number 137, 137. Go to those pages and write your homework and try to take an image and send me, or for example write me on an email ericbarak1429@gmail.com. I will check your answers and reply you back. I hope you enjoyed today's class. It was great fun. Thank you so much guys. I love you guys so much. You guys are my darling students and really I miss you a lot. Don't forget to stay safe. Make sure you have your stuff with you. Wash your hands, apply your clothes, and of course wear your mask, wear your gloves while you're going out to the grass. You're going for a walk, and just take care of yourself, take care of your surroundings, take care of your people who are next to you, and don't forget to learn English because we're always here. And remember that your school is Just English. Just English is one of the school where we give you a lot of information, a lot of variety of teachers we got here who take care of your living and who take care of your teaching work. And of course, we're here to teach you English. We want you to be the best in Turkey, and we know that you're going to do that just because of Just English, and you get best because you have the best teachers right here in Just English. And here Eric Barak says to you goodbye for now. Take care of yourself. Love you guys, and I'm going to sign out very soon. That is right now. Guys, don't take care of yourself. Take care. Love you guys. Don't get sad. I will catch you guys very soon. Till then, I, Eric, say to you goodbye from the intermediate class.